The stream is live. Quit telling me what to do.
People, you guys were telling me to pull the lever when I had like 12 seconds left to go.
And then she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I have 12 seconds. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. All right, I'll do it. Okay. You guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you go and check out our newsletter. You can go to chicksontheright.com, scroll down, look at our happy faces, and then click subscribe. And then you'll get all the news.
All the news
of the day. Do that. Do it. Do it. Do it.
That's
all I got. That's all I got this morning. That's it.
You got yourself a nice little sunrise.
I got a little sunrise back there going on. Thank you.
That is happening. And I got myself some really lovely coloration.
Listen, it's the chunky monkey thing is gone on the side.
It's not gone. It's still so puffy right here. It's still, I have an apple on my cheek that is not on the other one, on the other side.
I feel like it's going away. And then now you have the bruising. We get to see the different colors that pop up this week. It's going to be very exciting. Don't you guys think? I bet you it's going to turn like bluish green by the,
really
by Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
We should mention that tickets for the June 29th meet and greet in Indianapolis are still available. And you can get to the link for those on our website. You can go to chicksontheright.com and there's a post there that says Camp Tono tickets. And then at the bottom of that post, there's a link to get tickets if you would like. We're hearing a lot of mumbling and grumbling about the price. Mm-hmm. And we're aware that everything costs more these days. Yeah. You don't have to tell us.
Right. Yeah. People are pissed off about the price. They're what, like $20 more than the Arizona ones?
I think so. Like $30. Is that right?
I don't even 25. I think they're 25 more than the Arizona ones. Yeah. And listen, I mean, it costs a lot to throw a party. Another thing too, we do it all. Like we do the event. We suck at event planning. Actually, you've gotten pretty good at it, Ma. But like we do all the event planning. We do the, all the, when there are gift bags involved, we stuff all those gift bags. Like we do all of it. We don't have staff. Like we do all of this stuff. So anyway, it's one of those things where like the place costs more, the food costs more. We have security. There's a huge list of stuff. It's crazy. Like when you get the bill for the stuff, you're like, how much is it? What? So I don't know. We're like literally yesterday we were talking to each other. We're like, we don't even know if we're going to do these anymore. Because it's
just a lot.
Yeah, we just don't know if we're going to do them, you guys, because it's like it is a lot of money and people aren't happy about the price. And it's like in order to pay for the place and the food and everything, we just don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. But
yeah, we're still excited. There's tons of people whose names I recognize that are coming.
Totally.
And also lots and lots of new names that I don't know that I'm excited to meet. That's the whole point of these. And this
absolutely
is what makes ours different than any of these like big hoity-toity name events that you go to where you don't get interaction and personal time.
Like we will talk to everybody.
We will talk to everybody.
We will talk to everybody. Yeah. And we will party down. and the food is we will like
food this
you
time.
Guys, we're all about the food. We're all about the dancing. We're all about having a kick butt time, like with your anyway. So it'll be really fun. The people that have signed up, you're going to have a great time.
You're going to have the best time ever.
Guaranteed.
But if you want tickets still, if you haven't bought tickets and you would like to come, you are going to have a fabulous time. It's guaranteed. And you will leave there with like a million new best friends.
True.
Just go to chicksontheright.com and then look for that post that says Camp Tono tickets and you will see them available for purchase there. So there's that. Also, can I just say that I learned it's not a new word. It's not like it's an actual word, but I saw a word yesterday that made me laugh so hard and I can't stop saying it. And somebody was talking, I saw it on Twitter and somebody was talking about Nikki Haley and how she's very much like war, go war. Like I want all the wars. And so they said about her that Nikki is having all the wargasms.
Okay,
love that word.
That's pretty funny.
That cracked me up. So I just had to share it with everybody.
Pretty good. And I'm sure there are women out there going, they wouldn't do that with a man. They wouldn't do that at all. She's experiencing wargasm. Mm-hmm. I mean, good for her though. Good for her if she's experiencing orgasm, right? Especially
get something out of it.
Especially in middle age. I mean, that's awesome. Good for her. That's awesome. Yay.
Anyway, just had to share that. GC Cutesy, thank you. She says the whole Camp Tono experience is worth every dime. And she knows because she's been to Costa Rica. Like she's done all the things. So she knows.
That's true.
She knows how fun it is. Also need to mention that Elon Musk has tweeted that the successful implantation of the first Neuralink implant into somebody's brain, a human being's brain, was done yesterday. That person, that volunteer to have a brain implant,
a volunteer's tribute, right,
is allegedly recovering nicely. And Elon pointed out that there are promising neuron spike. There's a promising neuron spike detection.
I don't get it.
And so I cannot believe somebody volunteered to do this.
What are they like? What's the purpose of this? I don't understand. What is
all that I know that I saw in this little article I read about it this morning is that it allows this person, this implant will allow the person who has the implant to be able to use phones or computers only with his thoughts.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like the mark of the beast. Is that what it's like?
I mean, I would never do this.
You're not putting that crap in me, man. It's not happening.
But that's happened, you guys. This has happened. And of course, Elon's like all jazzed about it because
because it's like money.
Okay, Kim. My neighbor Kim. I just saw my neighbor Kim pipe in. She says it could cure paralysis. I mean, if that's true, then I can see like if you're a paralyzed person and you think that's
amazing.
Again,
that's totally cool. But just to be like, listen, I'm going to Whole Foods. I want a banana, and I'm going to be like, that's totally freaking weird, you guys.
And you don't want to have to say the words, "Hey Siri." You just want to be able to go.
I want to be. I want to become a human robot, and I just don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with interactions of any kind, and I'm just been like, and that's. I'm not doing this.
Well, and then
I'm not.
You guys know. I mean, I know I'm not the only one. Like, you know that there's thoughts that you have that you don't want to have. Like, I don't need a computer monitoring that.
There are thoughts that I have that I don't want other people hearing or knowing. Like right now, I'm having them right now. I don't want you guys to know.
And then what if your computer is like, I'm just going to print out everything that you just thought?
You don't want to know.
I don't want that.
Nobody wants to know what's going on in my brain. You don't want to know. No.
It's a bad plan is all I'm saying. Stephanie McDuff, thank you. Stephanie says, can you please explain from where the name Camp Tono came? I have my 2 tickets. Yes, we can. In fact, we should show you.
Do you have it? You have it right now? Oh my God.
I'm going to get it.
This is where it came from. Oh my God. It's like the craziest.
Needs to see it.
Okay. It's the greatest thing ever.
This is
sweetest little girl.
And this happened sort of just out of this video. We started joking about how much we love this child. And then I can't remember, and I'm so sorry.
I don't either.
I apologize to the insider who came up with this. They're the ones that took this video and ran with it and said, this should be the name of your first meet and greet. Right. And we've just used it ever since. So let me share my screen because everybody needs to see this child. If you haven't seen this child already, everybody needs to see her. Here is the reason for the name. Oh, you're going to need to I'm going to need to share my screen.
Share your screen.
Like this.
Okay, here we go. Okay,
here she is.
I love her.
I love ice cream. I want ice cream. Say Delta.
Eat
ice cream.
And so somebody was like, you should use the name of your meet and greet should be Camp Tono,
right,
in honor of that precious darling.
Right, because we started calling it camp for it's like going to camp with a bunch of your friends, and they were like, oh my God, it's like Camp Tono, and so that's how it started. So every single meet and greet is Camp Tono something. Like it's Camp Tono Indy, Camp Tono Arizona, Camp Tono. So That's where it came from. Camp
That's where it came
Tono.
from.
So now you guys are all in on the inside joke.
Yes. And then what's probably going to happen is that we're going to get a copyright strike for that. And we're going to have to take it out of the YouTube clip. And then everybody's going to be like, where did that name come from?
We're going to have to pay. We're going to have to pay that little baby and her parents. That's what's going to happen. Because this is our luck. Mm-hmm.
Totally. This is our luck. Right. You guys, we are so freaking excited to tell you about our new sponsor. Oh my gosh. If you are a person who has a green and I hope my mom is listening because this is right up my mom's alley. If you are a green thumb kind of person, if you are oh my
God, it's the 4th of July. What is going on? What's happening? Oh my God.
Okay, that was not expected.
Very excited. We got fireworks for this new sponsor. Fireworks, you guys.
Note to self, double thumbs up. Involves a July 4th celebration.
All right, there we go.
Anyway, what I was saying is if you have a green thumb and or you like gardening and or you like growing your own vegetables or fruits, depending on where you are in the country.
And you like being self-sufficient. You just like being self-sufficient and you want to do all these things. Yeah.
Yes. And or you have spent tons and tons of money on topsoil and like fertilizer and all this other mumbo jumbo that costs a lot. We have got the most amazing product to tell you about, you guys. If you have never heard of Reencle, I'm going to show you first of all what this is. This is an at-home composter, okay? And what it does is it eats your food. It's got all these microorganisms that are in this container that looks like a small trash can. And there's all these microorganisms in there ready to devour your food scraps, your food waste, like your banana peels or your leftover turkey sandwich or whatever.
It could be meat, fish, everything. It eats everything. And it doesn't smell. And it's sleek. It looks cool. It's remarkable, this thing. Yeah.
This is what it looks like set up in my kitchen. So hopefully you can see that. And there's no smell. It is the quietest little hungry little man that's eating up all of your stuff.
She calls her Seymour.
I call mine Seymour. And it turns your food waste into the most amazing soil that you can use then in your garden or even like on your grass, depending on how much. You can actually put like 2 pounds of food waste into this thing a day. And then you just empty it out when it gets full. You use it for your indoor plants, your outdoor plants. It is the coolest thing ever. And that is coming from someone who has never been interested in gardening at all. But the fact that now you don't have to throw stuff in the trash can and you actually have a place that it can be used to recycle itself and then help other things grow. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's the coolest thing.
I love the self-sufficiency part of it, which is really nice. Yeah. And I'm actually, we have a little side yard here at our place on our ranch where I'm thinking about doing vegetable gardening. I'm actually interested in that. So this is fantastic. I'm so excited about mine. I cannot wait.
It's the coolest.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Coffee grounds. Yes, and coffee grounds are perfect to put in it. Yes, Dash.
Yeah, they love it. Apparently the little microorganisms love coffee grounds. So, and I just like thinking of it as like as a hungry little guy sitting in my kitchen and I just imagine, and then you just wave your foot in front of it and it opens up automatically and you just throw things in and then I feel like it's happy and it's eating. You know what I mean? I just love it. I love this thing so much. You guys, of course, there is a discount for our Chicks on the Right audience. If you go to Reencle, I know it's kind of a weird name, and it's also not .com. So this is another thing to pay attention to. It's REENCLE.co. So it's Reencle.co. You'll use promo code Chicks and you will get $50 off and free shipping. So that's a huge, huge savings. So if you're interested, check it out at Reencle.co, REENCLE.co, and start composting, you guys. It's the coolest thing.
Super excited. Yeah, that's a cool one. Very cool.
Oh my God. I'm so stoked about this one. Like this one. And if you would have said, hey, there's somebody that would like you to talk about composters, I would have been like, Please.
Mhm.
As if I know anything about that. And now I feel like I'm this huge expert. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right, let's get to some news, shall we? We need to talk about all the stuff that's going on with Iran. And before we do that, you should know that right now we're just sort of waiting for this White House to sort itself out and figure out what our response will be to the Iran proxy attack that took out 3 of our service members. And of course, we're just hearing from, we're basically just hearing they're going to do something at some time. So that's what we know.
At a time, they say at a time of our choosing. That's
at a time and in a manner of our
choosing. That's what they keep saying.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, what? All right. Meanwhile,
is it going to be the time and the manner like it was with the 13 service members that died in Afghanistan?
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, it's like this. And meanwhile, Iran's like, okay, whatever. They don't care.
We'll just keep doing our thing.
Yeah, they're not afraid. Nobody's afraid of this administration at all. There's nobody leading the country.
Well, and let's just take a quick trip down memory lane, if we could, with this tweet that Joe Biden put out January 10th of 2020 about Donald Trump. He said, and I quote, Donald Trump brought us dangerously close to starting a new war with Iran without any semblance of a plan. This moment requires a leader who will be ready on day one to pick up the pieces and repair the damage that Trump has caused.
Okay. That did not age well.
It did not.
No. Mm-mm.
It did not age well at all. And it gets worse because now we also have some flashback video. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so froggy today. We have some flashback video of Joe Biden throughout his tenure as president on Iran, just making no sense whatsoever. And it's
how many of you today are concerned there's for the first time in your career a genuine possibility of a nuclear war?
Oh my God.
You said yesterday, you've said it again now, it's dangerous that the United States has never been this close as it is now, to nuclear war.
This is not a business deal. This is not who builds the next skyscraper. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. I don't know what it would have done.
Oh my God.
When this president almost started a full-blown war with Iran.
Really?
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And people forget about this. I mean, Democrats will just continue to make excuses for this guy.
I mean, and then think about the fact that too, just 4 months ago, right? October was 4 months ago. Yeah. 4 months ago, we had Jake Sullivan bragging about how quiet the Middle East is.
Yep.
Compare and contrast that to what Blinken said just yesterday.
The war in Yemen is in its 19th month of truce. For now, the Iranian attacks against U.S. forces have stopped. Our presence in Iraq is stable. I emphasize for now because all of that can change. And the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades.
I would argue that we have not seen a situation as dangerous as the one we're facing now across the region since at least 1973.
Yeah, I think Jake Sullivan said that 8 days before the Hamas attack.
Yeah.
8 days. Yeah.
Which just makes you wonder if the CIA, if the FBI, if our entire intelligence apparatus was more focused on learning intelligence about what's going on in the Mideast versus looking at
moms and dads.
Moms. Yeah.
They're looking at moms and dads going to school board meetings. Yeah. They're looking at Moms for Liberty or whoever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're looking at us. Yeah, exactly. They're way too focused on things that are going on in our country that they don't need to be focusing on. They need to be focusing on the exterior. Absolutely. And they're not. And that is terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, this world, man. So I guess it was yesterday when Biden, I don't know what event he was at, but at the end of whatever talk he gave, he wanted to do a moment of silence for those 3 service members. And so you're going to hear what he said about that. But the best part of this clip is actually Harris Faulkner at the end of it. Yeah, I just love that woman. And you will too when you hear this.
We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases.
Yes.
And I'd ask for a moment of silence for all 3 of those fallen soldiers. And we shall respond.
put some of the words up on the screen for you because he is difficult to understand a lot.
Yeah, he totally is. He absolutely is, Harris. Yeah. And
she said that.
And they said that somebody asked him about going to Georgia and, I guess talking to families or whatever. There's nothing on the books for him to do that.
Yeah. Well, Kirby, we've got some Kirby. We have that clip actually coming up in just a second, but not before we first just probably show. And there are so many embarrassing KJP clips. They're it's every day. She says something completely idiotic, right? Never more. She has never sounded more idiotic than she did in this moment. Like, this went completely viral on Twitter yesterday not just because of how tongue-tied she was. It was just how wrong what she said was about those 3 service members. Here she is.
I will say our deepest condolences go out, and our heartfelt condolences go out to the families who lost three folks who are military folks, who are brave, who are always fighting, who are fighting on behalf of this administration, of the American people. Obviously, more importantly, we lost those souls.
Oh my God!
On behalf of this administration.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Yeah, she's a complete disaster. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They need to put some I've seen a couple other faces that have been standing in for her on certain occasions, and they need to make that a permanent thing. They've got to get somebody else in there. She's a complete and utter disaster.
And they like her. She has no intentions of leaving.
She's the first.
They've never said, exactly, which is why they won't get rid of her.
Mm-hmm. She's the first, Black lesbian. I don't even know what.
Something.
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
She ticks a lot of boxes. Yeah. So
and now I think divorced is one of the things.
Oh,
she's the first Black divorced lesbian.
Is that what it is? Okay.
To have ever served in this role. So
she's so strong, you guys.
So brave, stunning and brave.
Very stunning.
To your point just a second ago, John Kirby was asked, and John Kirby, listen, he has an impossible job, and he does the best that he can do in his impossible job, which is to defend the actual ideas of this administration. He does it so much better than she does, but obviously he sucks at this job too, because it is the job it is. It's impossible to defend anything that this administration does.
Yeah, but they do it.
They do it because
they do it
to do.
Yeah.
He's at least somewhat more effective at presenting a case most of the time. And he gets into some spats with a couple of members of the press, which you'll hear in a second. But here he is being asked about Joe Biden going to Dover to take part in those return home ceremonies of those dead servicemen.
John, do you expect the president would go to Dover for the dignified transfer when these Americans are returned to the United States?
I don't have anything on his schedule to speak to.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just say, I'm sure he plans to go, even if you don't know?
Or something other than there's nothing on the schedule, because they don't matter. Those 3 people don't matter is basically that's what I hear from that. Can you imagine? And people in Georgia, they were just like, seriously? I can't. It's like it doesn't matter to him. None of this matters to him. It's as long as he can just go ahead and just go about his day and do the things that he does, which is eat ice cream and follow instructions from his overlords, the Obamas, I guess, and then just do what he's told to do, because he obviously has no backbone and he has no idea where he is every single day, but he doesn't care. He just doesn't.
Yeah. And actually maybe, if he went, he would probably just do one of those things again where he's looking at his watch and being distracted and not at all caring. So I don't know, maybe it's better for those families if he doesn't go. You know what I mean?
They could have answered in a more diplomatic way.
For sure.
It's so dismissive and gross.
I know. So gross. Nikki Haley. So she she is fired up about wanting action against Iran. And so she was asked directly by a reporter yesterday, you know, what should Biden have done? What should he do? And as you heard people on Twitter describe it, she is in the midst of a wargasm, you guys. Here she is.
What does that mean in practice? When you say Biden didn't do something, what was that something that he should have been doing?
The very first strike that hit, you punch and you punch back hard. What they should be doing is going after every ounce of production of those missiles. Wherever those missiles are, you take that out. You keep doing. You take out the training sites. You go and you.
But does that risk escalating a war?
Does
that mean striking Iran directly?
It means striking the resources that are allowing them to hurt our troops. That's what you're doing. It's not going after
they're backed by Iran. Iran says that they're not declaring the shots, but Iran's training them. They're providing intelligence. They're providing weapons.
And this goes
there
back.
would be no Hamas without Iran, Hezbollah without Iran, or Houthis without Iran.
But
yes, you're going.
Iran is a really big escalation. And
you go after wherever those missiles are, the production, wherever it is in Iraq and Syria, you take that out. Wherever it is in Lebanon that they're doing that, you take that out. You go after the leaders making the decisions. It's not after Iran, the country. It's after the people who are making these decisions. When Soleimani was assassinated, it sent a chill up their spine. They literally, it took their breath out. You have to be strategic. It's not starting war. It's actually preventing war.
This is.
Okay, so a lot of people think that she's insane, and everybody's like, she's scary, calm down, all the kind. But she did say something that stuck out to me, and that is she's talking about resources, like hit their resources, which nobody seems to want to do. And because listen, we're paying these people. We're partially responsible for this, all of this, because we keep giving these people resources and money. It's money. It's all about money. So it drives me insane. Like what happened on October 7th, we're finding out now that U.S. employees were partially responsible for that. So pull the money. Why is it so hard? Why are we the sugar daddy for all of these people, all of these terrorists? Why are we allowing that to happen? We need to pull all the money from all of these terrorists, all these scumbags, and not give them one more cent. And nobody's doing that. So she's actually not entirely wrong in that clip because she used the word resources, and that's where I go, Bart, okay. Right. I mean, we don't necessarily have to go in there and bomb the shit out of everybody, but can we just pull the money? Like that would suck them dry of at least, because we're doing this. We're doing it. We're culpable. And that makes me sick.
And there does need to be some response. Like we can't just be like, well, 3 service members, what are you going to do? I mean, there has to be a response.
And you can respond partially by draining them of resources and money. And I don't know why we didn't do that years ago. Why haven't
this administration was too busy giving them releasing more money
on pallets, pallets and pallets of cash is what the Obama. Yeah, that's what Obama did. It's insane.
You were just mentioning that how they should replace KJP with one of these other spokespeople. Yeah, I'd never seen this particular well, maybe I have seen her actually at a podium, but I've not seen her make the news rounds.
Gold earring girl. Yeah, I've never seen her. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay. The Pentagon spokeswoman.
Yeah, I've never seen her.
Dana Bash was asking her, you know, has Biden's foreign policy been a failure? And of course, she's trained to never answer a direct question. That all of the spokespeople in this White House have that same exact training, clearly, but she at least sounds, you know, a little bit more coherent than KJP. Here's her non-answer.
Far the most direct, the most deadly when it comes to what has happened in the Middle East to U.S. troops since October 7th. Looking at this and more broadly, have U.S. deterrence policies failed? I mean, how will the president's response be different this time?
Well, look, what we saw last night, what we saw yesterday was lethal action that impacted our service members. And that's something that weighs heavily on this building, that weighs heavily on the secretary. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with those service members and their families. But when you look at the wider region, when you look at what's happening in the region, we know tensions are high, but the conflict that's happening between Israel and Gaza has been contained to Gaza. And we have seen multiple attacks on our service members in Iraq and Syria that have been largely unsuccessful. Minor injuries, minor damage to infrastructure. Unfortunately, yesterday we saw a lethal action.
Yeah.
So has it been a fail or what?
That was a huge spin that she just did there. Like, wow. Yeah. And it's a stretch. Like she's saying it's been primarily to just things, like they're just hurting things. No, I mean, it's like there have been attacks all over the place and we've just largely ignored them. So yeah, I don't like her.
Yeah. But man, it's like they go to a class about how to not answer questions.
Or just answer other questions in place of the actual question.
Or just inject talking points that the administration wants to get out there in place of answers. Like it's a remarkable training program that they have there.
It's a skill, I guess.
For real. Eugene Heiger, thank you, Eugene, says none of this shit happened with Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Despite all of Biden's scary warnings,
he's
like actually the one causing the problems.
Precisely. All the things that they said he was going to do, Biden is doing.
Yeah.
That's the definition of gaslighting, right? I mean, it's like this is what they're doing. Yeah.
Jackie Heinrich in the presser yesterday with John Kirby asked him about the whole don't strategy, like how, remember, because we played those videos yesterday of everybody in the administration saying what we've said to Iran is don't. And so Jackie asked, so how's that whole don't thing working out for you?
It's clear, obviously, that don't didn't work. Does the president have any regret over not punching back harder in any of the prior responses that he's taken to these proxy attacks on U.S. forces?
I think I would push back on the idea that we didn't push back harder. That we have taken significant action against Iran economically. We have certainly taken some additional and more aggressive steps to go after these groups. We're certainly taking aggressive action against the Houthis to try to defend shipping in the Red Sea. I mean, this idea that somehow we've just whistled past the graveyard here and walked away from the challenge that Iran poses just isn't borne out by the facts. These proxy groups have been attacking our troops and our facilities in Iraq and Syria well before this administration as well. And
for instance, Mike Waltz said this morning that when you're trying to play defense constantly rather than punching back in a meaningful way, this blood is on this administration's hands. What is the response from the White House to an accusation like that?
This should be good.
What I would tell you and I would tell the congressman is we're mindful of what Iran's doing in the region. And we have taken aggressive action against these proxy groups and on their influence in the region. And there are decisions yet to come.
Yeah, it's not aggressive at all. They literally are. It's the equivalent of gentle parenting.
Yes,
that's what they're doing. They're like, oh, it's gonna work. It's so much better. Let's implement some gentle parenting with Iran. It doesn't
give them a timeout.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You morons. Yeah, this is what happens. Oh my God.
I know. And then he got very scrappy. And I don't know who this woman is. They'll show her, like when you see this back and forth, at one point they show this reporter. I've never seen her before. Don't know who she is, but she was really, really fighting with him and he gets mad at her. And it was an interesting little exchange.
Isn't it time to involve the American people? I mean, given the fact that the American people were not happy about,
I suspect the American people are not happy about attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. I also suspect they're not happy about seeing American troops killed at a base in Jordan. The president has the authority to defend those troops and those facilities, and he'll do that.
He's weighing all of his options. This is an election year. Is the president looking at his polling when he's weighing all of these options? Is the president looking at what?
My goodness. That's a heck of a question. He's not looking, ma'am. Let me just stop you right there.
No,
Commander-in-Chief is not looking at polling or considering the electoral calendar when he's defending.
How they feel about the war on Gaza?
Oh, now, can I answer the question? He's not looking at political calculations or the polling or the electoral calendar as he works to protect our troops ashore and our ships at sea.
Right.
And any suggestion to the contrary is offensive.
Is he looking at the polling with respect to, does the American public want a broader Middle East conflict when he weighs his political decision making?
Ma'am, I've answered that question.
Okay, let's go. You didn't answer that question. Is he weighing that?
He is not concerning himself with the political calendar.
The American public have the opportunity
Good for
to
her.
weigh in on whether they want
Ma'am,
Made in America
I have
stamped
answered your-
on the bombs
Ma'am, I've
that are
answered
going
your
to be
question.
dropped.
We're going to move on. Go ahead, Phil.
Thanks, Green.
Seriously, they should have just shoved Greta Thunberg in there. How dare you? How dare you ask that question? God.
Man.
Yeah, he's paying
Oh,
attention.
man.
He's paying attention to the polling. Totally is.
That's
Lies.
completely what he's paying attention to.
Mhm.
Of course. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
And I love how John Kirby is just like clutching those pearls.
I'm
man.
just so we're so offended by that. We're just so offended. Give me a break.
You guys, last night I made cobia.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
I'd never heard of it either. But the last time I was shopping at omahasteaks.com/chicks, you know, I love me some seafood.
Yeah.
Love me some
She
seafood.
does.
Made swordfish last week, which was absolutely delicious from omahasteaks.com/chicks. I saw that they had an option of getting 4 cobia fillets. And I was like,
What
I
is that?
don't know what that is, but they said it was a fish. And I thought I should try that. And so I got the fillets. I thawed out the fillets. I found a recipe online that said, here's how you can like mix up a dressing for the fillets. I made it. I used olive oil and balsamic vinegar and garlic and salt and pepper and some other things. And I drizzled all of that on these fillets, threw them in the oven for 20 minutes, and they were the bomb. They were so good. So good. And we had them, of course, with those individual scallop potatoes, which is an amazing side that you can get from omahasteaks.com/chicks. Those are the ones that kind of look like a beautiful little flower, like a unfolded rose. And then somehow it like one of those roses, you feel full from just that rose, and it's like kind of an au gratin potato type of thing. So good. So if you think that Omaha Steaks is just about steaks, you are sadly mistaken. And you need to go and check out all of their other kinds of meals, different meats. And then, of course, always grab some steaks too in your checkout because...
My God, because I had steak from there yesterday. And the
You
steak
did?
was- Yeah.
Which ones did you
fillet.
have?
I always have the fillet. I love their fillets. Just the plain old fillets. They have the bacon wrap, but I always like just the plain old. I'm a purist. I like the plain old fillets. So good.
God, there's everything
In the
is
air
so
fryer.
good.
In the air fryer, you guys.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Easy peasy. I have never known that it was this easy to make fish. It is so, so easy. And right now they've got this special going where if you go to omahasteaks.com/chicks and you place your order, there's a minimum purchase, of course, you will get on top of your order, which I did, for 4 free chicken breasts and 4 free boneless pork chops. That's on top of your order. So that's just your little thank you gift for ordering from omahasteaks.com. Do it today. You are going to love it. Everything I've gotten from there is mouth-wateringly delicious. omahasteaks.com/chicks. Jay Lunsford. Thank you. Jay Lunsford says the Arthur Murray Biden sidestep dance lessons. Yeah, that must be what their training is all about.
Totally.
All right, let's move on to this ridiculous border bill that's still being talked about, even though no one has actually read it because they're keeping it very, very close to their vest at the moment, which is odd. But here's what Mike Johnson tweeted about this ridiculous bill. He said, and I quote, "Any border shutdown authority that allows even one illegal crossing is a non-starter. Thousands each day is outrageous. The number must be 0.
Yes. Amen.
Why is this hard?
Agree 100%. He's absolutely right. I mean, the whole bullcrap of 50,000 green cards and this and that, and giving all this other, giving so much stuff to illegals. This is what they're doing. They're appeasing more illegal. It's ridiculous. What are we doing? So
I have
he's
no
100%,
idea.
He's 100% correct.
100% correct.
Yep.
And Ted Cruz sheds light on exactly why this administration has been doing this. Here he is.
Do we have a border? We don't. We have an open border, and that is by design. And by the way, the White House has claimed they need more money. The money they want is more money to process illegal immigrants more quickly. They want 9.6 million to become 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. They want to speed this up. They want more illegal immigration. And understand, it's not that Joe Biden is bad at his job, that he's negligent, that he doesn't know how to do it. He wants this crisis because he gets a political benefit, he believes, from it. He could solve it overnight because he caused it overnight. You know, Sandra, I spend a lot of time on the southern border. I go out on midnight patrol with the Border Patrol agents. When you do that, you're not looking for illegal immigrants. They look for you. They find you. They turn themselves into you. And the reason they do so is as soon as they do, the Biden administration asks them, hey, where would you like to go? And they say, I want to go to New York. I want to go to Boston. I want to go to Dallas. I want to go to Miami. And the Biden administration puts them on a plane or on a bus and sends them to every city in America. So every city in America is a border city right now. If you want to solve this problem, Donald Trump, when he's reelected in January of next year, will solve this problem, and he'll do so by one thing and one thing alone. When someone's apprehended, you put them on a plane, you fly them back home, and the crisis goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what absolutely pisses me off is when, you know, you see something like that and you get on Twitter, and then the people who who hate Ted Cruz are just like, oh, he's full of crap. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's there. He's been there. You know who hasn't been there? Joe Biden. He's
Kamala. The borders are.
Right. They don't care. They don't care about the border. They don't care about Texas. They don't care about Arizona. They don't care about they don't care about the border. They don't care about he is absolutely 100% correct. He knows exactly what's happening because he's been there and he's seen it. And we're paying for this, you guys. We're paying for illegals to be flown, shipped all over the country. Congratulations. That's where your tax money is going. And make sure you're working really hard because you got to pay up on April the 15th.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And Ted Cruz also explained why no one has actually been able to read the text of this bill, the full text. Here he is on that.
Have you even read this bill to be able to say that?
So I haven't read the bill, and there's a reason. Nobody's read the bill. They won't actually give us the text. So the reason they won't give us the text, the way it works in Washington, if you're hiding the text, it means it's even worse than people think it is. It means if people knew what was in it, they'd be even more upset. All they've given us is some general bullet points, but I'll tell you what they have done. One of those bullet points is this effectively normalizes 5,000 illegal immigrants a day. 5,000 a day, that works out to over 1.8 million illegal immigrants a year. That is utterly unacceptable. That's nearly 6 million illegal immigrants under Joe Biden. So apparently the Republican position is we'll take 2/3 of the border crisis. Look, the answer needs to be fix it and solve it, and we can do that. Trump or any Republican president willing to enforce the law doesn't need this bill to do that. They can go back. You reverse those 3 decisions Biden made. You build the wall, you end catch and release, and you reinstate the Remain in Mexico agreement, and the numbers will plummet again, just like they did 3 years ago.
Yes. Why is this hard?
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, and Republicans who are like, I'll side with the Democrats on this, like the Mitt Romneys of the world, need to shut their faces. And like they are showing their true colors. They're the rhinos. Those are the true rhinos, right? Those are the people who don't care about this country, and they're the commies. They're the ones who don't care. You might as well just become a Democrat at this point, because I don't want to hear from you. If they're not on the side of Ted Cruz and the people who are like, this is bullcrap, but we're doing the whole Pelosi, we got to pass it to see what's in it thing.
Yeah.
Then they need to take all the seats. Those are the people that we need to vote out, get them out, clean house. Those people are not for us. They're not for America. They are for the demise of America, and we need to get rid of them ASAP.
Well, and you can tell that it's getting to be a really sore issue for KJP because she got scrappy with a reporter about the border yesterday.
The first day of his administration, the president took this issue very seriously.
No,
he
didn't.
put forth a comprehensive piece of legislation to deal with what's happening with the immigration. You don't get to decide, but you don't get to decide what I say and what I don't say. Either you hear me out, or we can, I'll see you on Wednesday. Totally up to you.
That's the job of your overlords.
All right. Okay. He means what he says. Not going to go into details here. Here's the reality. The immigration system is broken. It's been broken for decades, even in the last administration. The president introduced this piece of legislation 3 years ago. House Republicans got in the way. They refused to do anything about it.
Gosh, she's infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I'm just so sick of hearing that. It's such bull crap. House Republicans got in the way. Okay. And the immigration system is broken. It's broken. Oh my God.
And then meanwhile, Egypt, this is what the border looks like between Egypt and Gaza. And this goes, I mean, this is just the first layer of their border wall, you guys. They've got all of that razor wire, all that tall, all the like cement blocks, and then all that tall razor wire on top of like steel bars. And then behind that, there's a whole other layer of reinforced border.
You got to keep out the riffraff. You got to keep
out those icky Arabs or something, right, Egypt?
Exactly.
Like, what the hell?
Totally.
So the fact that everybody in the entire world can see that walls work when you do them correctly, and that our country, for some reason, is just like, well, they don't really work unless we're a politician that needs a wall around our house. It's just, what in the hell?
Well, everybody knows that they work. Because, I mean, look at that. No one's getting over that.
No one is getting over that.
No one is.
No one.
Yeah. Without a little scratch here and there. You're not getting over that. I mean, yeah. And people in this country be like, it's so mean. You know, razor wire is so mean. It's only mean if you are illegal and you try to get over it.
Right.
If you're
Go
breaking
through the proper
law,
channels.
Right. If you're breaking the law and you're trying to get over it, then it's mean to you. You're a lawbreaker. I mean, what?
FAFO.
Go to the proper place where you're supposed to try to get exactly FAFO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jersey Diane, thank you. Jersey Diane says American Red Cross handing out maps to all. Yeah, I mean, the coordinated effort behind all this is just, it's unbelievable how coordinated it is. Eugene Heiger says it's not hard. They do this for control. I know. I mean, the whole thing is just so maddening. Somebody says wall envy, right? Like, do you look at that
totally.
and I just am like, why can't we do that?
Yeah.
It's exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah. And it's like a big, huge middle finger to the American taxpayer. You know, we do everything correct. It's like you and I, we all pay our bills. You know, we pay our taxes. We do all the things right. We follow the rules. We follow the laws of this country. And then, you know, we have this administration looking at us saying they get to do whatever the hell they want. And then we're going to give them a bunch of free crap on your backs.
Yeah.
You guys have to pay for it. Free healthcare. Do you guys get free healthcare? I don't get free healthcare. I mean, do you? Because it's not okay. None of this is okay. And increasingly people are starting to, Shonda said wallgasm. Sorry, that was great. But I mean, like, increasingly people are starting, I hope, to wake up and say, we're broke, first of all. We can't afford these people. But then the fact that they come in expecting it with that sense of entitlement, it's infuriating. It's not okay.
No, it's not okay. And then speaking of the whole world being on fire, of course, the Israel and Gaza conflict continues to rage on, and protesting here in the United States continues to rage on. Protesters showed up at Nancy Pelosi's house in San Francisco, and it's very, very hard to hear, but apparently what she was yelling back at these protesters was, go back to China and Russia where you came from. So she's completely convinced that this is a China-Russia like psyop, that these protesters they're all from Russia and China. Here's Nancy getting sort of accosted by these protesters.
You know what's an inside job.
Most of your constituents want stop the genocide, stop the Holocaust.
The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire.
Go back to China where you came. This is her voter block. Her voter block came to bother her, and this is how she treats them. Like, honestly, it's not very hospitable, Nance. Like, what you doing? I feel like
don't you have some extra rooms in your house?
Yeah, don't you have some extra rooms and some extra ice cream from your $24,000 fridge? I feel like she should invite them in for some ice cream.
Well, KJP was asked about that altercation and whether or not she agrees with Pelosi that this is a China-Russia psyop. And here is her blithering, idiotic answer.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggested that some of the protests here in the United States against the Israel-Hamas war are supported by or connected to in some way Russia and Vladimir Putin. What evidence has the White House seen of anything along those lines?
So I'm going to let the speaker speak for herself. The former speaker obviously speak for herself. I don't have anything to add to what the speaker has laid out. We've been very clear here of where we stand with with Israel in making sure that they are able to defend themselves. Obviously, after the horrible attacks on September 7th by Hamas, a terrorist organization, who have said, leaders in that organization have said that they would do October 7th over and over and over again. Obviously, we want to make sure that they protect innocent lives and
blah blah blah. She's just like, I'm not going to speak for the speaker.
God, that has to be so exhausting, just to lie every single day.
Right?
It's just, it's
so exhausting,
right? I'm sure some people enjoy it, but I would just, tired.
It's a lot. Leah, thank you so much. Leah says we need to stop calling them illegal immigrants and start calling them by the correct name, criminal border jumpers.
Amen.
Yeah. But I know that they get mad when they're called illegal, so I don't mind saying that.
Yeah,
like when you call them illegal aliens, they're like, "Oh, that's so mean." I don't.
Way better than migrants. I get so tired of hearing people calling them migrants. I'm like, they're not migrants; they're illegal. And then people are like, "You're racist, Daisy." No, but I do like your suggestion. I think that's great. We can kind of like go back and forth.
We can go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
That little goblin, Janet Yellen, who is, do you guys remember? She's the one that came up with that whole inflation is transitory nonsense from way back when. And it continues to linger, of course, being anything but transitory. And just a couple of weeks ago, she was talking about how this administration has done all this work to bring prices down and that there's still work to be done. Okay, so I understood that to mean that she believes they have some onus on reducing prices across the board and implementing policies that would reduce prices. Here she is. I think this was like on the 10th of this month.
But now, with nearly $1,000 left over to save or spend. But despite how far we've come, we know significant work remains to be done. For too many families, prices for goods that matter, groceries, rents, prescription drugs, are high. At the Treasury Department and across the administration, we're using all tools at our disposal to bring these costs down so that families have more breathing room.
Okay, so that was 2 weeks ago, right? 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then Kamala, this was just yesterday, I think, said something similar.
I'll start by saying that we still have work to do to bring down prices. But the work we have done has been historic in terms of strengthening the economy.
Okay, it's been historic. So keeping that in mind, Janet Yellen yesterday said this.
How do you convince Americans and voters that those prices might not go back to where they were before the pandemic?
Well, I think most Americans know that prices are not likely to fall. It's not the Fed's objective to try to push the level of prices back to where they were.
It's like, what? It's almost as if they don't talk to one another.
Or themselves. Like, did she hear herself?
Yeah.
They 2 weeks ago?
Exactly. They don't ever get together and they have any self-reflection. Like,
my God.
It is. It's crazy, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It just changes every day.
So now you're not supposed to expect prices to ever come back down. That was the message there from yesterday.
Why would you? And you know what? You should be happy about it because this administration has been historic. Don't you know? Can't you see? Come on.
They've done all the work. They've been so clear.
There's so much clarity. And it's just as crazy. They keep gaslighting and gaslighting. And it's just like, you're supposed to be happy with it. Like, take it. Take the crap sandwich and be happy with it. No.
E.G. and Carroll, what a lunatic that
She's a
woman
total
is.
Psycho, you guys.
So yesterday we had just the quote from her saying that she plans to do good, right? With this historic amount of money that she's stealing from Donald Trump. And so now she's, of course, making all the rounds. And she was asked by George Snuffleupagus how she plans to use the money. And here's what she said.
You said you want to do great things with this $83 million settlement. Give us an idea about that.
Don't want to waste money. Well, I do have an idea. I'd like to give the money to something Donald Trump hates. If it will cause him pain for me to give money to certain things, that's my intent. Well, perhaps a fund for the women who have been sexually assaulted by Donald Trump.
Are you confident the money is going to come through?
I'm pretty confident. One way or the other. I may not get it right away, but one way or the other, he owns a lot of real estate. It can be sold, and we'll collect the judgment.
How long can he delay this?
So the initial question is, over the next 2 weeks, is whether he can put up a bond for the $83 million.
Somebody would be taking a lot of risk to do that, right?
That's for sure. Last time, on only the $5 million, he didn't get a bond. He deposited with the court. So he either has a choice to get a bond or deposit $83+ million with the court. If he can't do that, then we can start collecting right away.
Okay, so you heard what she said about giving it to organizations that Trump hates, right?
Right.
Just trying to sound all altruistic.
Yeah.
It was a very different story when she was on Rachel Maddow's show. Here is that.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours,
Nothing.
Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right.
I'm glad you think this is
That's
funny.
a joke.
Although if me fishing in France could do something for women's rights, I would take the hit. You know, I would obviously take one for the team. All right, let me as if you need persuasion in that regard. Let me finish with a final question. And again, this is both for you, Sean, and for you, Robbie, and you guys can divide up responsibility here.
God, these women are so gross. And her lawyer next to her was like, "That's a joke. That's a joke." No, it's not. It's not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a joke at all. Yeah, and there will be no accounting of where that money goes. If in fact she gets
there
it.
doesn't need to be, right? Legally, there doesn't need to be. She can do whatever she wants with it.
She can do whatever she wants. Yep. And it's like I said yesterday when somebody said, "How do you feel?" She feels rich, is how she feels. That's how she feels
rich.
Yeah. These people are disgusting.
Her lawyer, too, was asked about the moment that Trump walked out during her closing arguments. And here's what she said about that.
So you're delivering your closing statement, and the former president storms out of the courtroom. I was wondering about your reaction then. Did you think right then you'd won the case?
I definitely thought we got a few more $1 million immediately. I was like, well, that's worth about $10 million. I didn't see him do it because I was facing the jury and he was on to my left. I was facing my right. But the idea in a case where our basic thesis is that he's a bully who can't follow the rules, to act like a bully who doesn't follow the rules is an interesting strategy, let me put it that way.
So far over the weekend, he has not repeated his defamation of you. I want to ask both of you, are confident he won't do it again? What happens if he does?
I can't be confident about anything Donald Trump does.
All options are on the table.
What does that mean?
If we have to bring another case, we'll bring another case. He's just going to be more money.
Thank you for coming in.
I swear, it's just gross. It's so gross. Meanwhile, there are women.
Hopefully he stops talking about her. You know what I mean?
It's just, but the precedent is disgusting, Mock. It's just gross what they're doing. 83 million. Meanwhile, there are women out there who have been brutally raped. And are you kidding me? They don't see. She got 83 million for this. And it's just, and they're taunting it. I'm going to go shopping.
Penthouse in France.
I'm so grossed out by this whole thing. It's just every woman should be grossed out by this.
And it gets worse because, put aside the fact that this tweet comes from one of the most disgusting people ever, Brian Krasenstein, but Trump's money problems are about to get exponentially worse if this is true, what he says in this tweet, which is that Judge Engoron is expected to announce that the penalty in that case, with all the, overvaluing his estate or whatever, could be in excess of the $370 million that Letitia James is seeking. And they could strip him and his company from ever doing business in New York State again, which I think he should preemptively, like we talked about yesterday, get out.
Yeah, he should have he should be doing that right now. He should be like, I'm getting out of this hellhole. This place sucks. Pull all of his money out of there. Yeah, it's like that.
Good.
God, New York is disgusting. He'll never get a fair trial in that place ever, as evidenced by what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And speaking of really, really bad, another clip was going around yesterday, pretty viral yesterday, of Ilhan Omar giving a speech in what language do Somalis speak?
Somalian.
I don't know. Is that the name of their language? I have no idea.
I have no idea. But, but here, since she is, a representative here in the United States of America, she probably should speak English.
You would think, but she makes it very clear in this speech that where her loyalties lie. And you'll see because obviously you won't be able to understand any of this, but you'll see the translation underneath her voice talking to this group of people in her home state. We love each other.
They
are Somalians first, Muslims second, who protect one another, come to each other's aid and to the aid of other Muslims too. A couple of days ago, we heard some people who call themselves Somalis. Oh my God. Or claim to be Somalis have signed an MOU with Ethiopia on access to the sea.
She's saying that her grasp of Somali language is really, really bad, and then she's making a joke about it. But what she says that she is Somali first and Muslim second, and that Somalians have called on her personally to talk to our government to help Somalia, and they want to know what our government is going to do. And she's basically promising to this audience that they're going to do what she tells them to do, and that they're going to follow. Somalia is going to follow our orders. We Somalians must have that confidence. We live in the U.S., pay taxes, and have a real voice. The U.S. is a country where one of your daughters, myself, is in Congress to help for as long as I can, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this was extraordinary because her allegiance is clearly not to the United States.
No, it's not. It's not. And again, I go back to the whole, we pay taxes. Our taxes should be going to the United States of America, not to all these other. We are not the sugar daddy for all these other countries. I'm sorry, but F everybody else. We have problems right here. And if people take what I just said, F everybody else, and they're like, oh my God, that's the worst thing. That woman is awful. I don't care. We're suffering. We are suffering. We're bleeding out in this country. We're literally bleeding out. And we have we can't even afford a tourniquet for ourselves because we're too busy paying for everybody else. And people will call me a racist, a xenophobe. I don't care. I care about my country. I care about my kids. I care about their future. And they won't have a future because we're too busy paying for everybody else. And she doesn't care about the United States. She doesn't care about my kids. She doesn't care about my kids at all.
Very clear.
Yeah.
And the fact that Democrats are not saying you're out of here, like you're making our side of the aisle look bad. This is fine. This is fine to Democrats. They would never even dream of censuring her or expelling her over being a treasonous hag. This is completely fine for them.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
How far we've globalist.
Right. It's exactly. Globalism will get us nowhere, but it'll just lead to our demise, and everybody looks at us and they expect us to pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and we made that bet because we paid for people it is not our responsibility to pay for everybody else. I am with Rand Paul and Ron Paul on this one. It's not our responsibility.
I totally get it. Joy Reid had a hot mic moment yesterday on her show, which I guess still exists inexplicably. And so she was playing a clip of Joe Biden talking about this Iran conflict, and she didn't realize that she could be heard, and she let her feelings about a potential war be known. Hide your kids, hide your wives.
And Congress needs to get it done.
Starting another fucking war. Still trying to kill the deal. He bragged about blocking progress and said, please blame him if it fails. Meanwhile, the main Republican negotiator on border security, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, is defending the proposed deal and called out fellow Republicans who oppose it.
It's interesting, though, because, she's like, don't start another effing war, but she won't stray from the narrative. How she wouldn't dare go against her overlords, right? Because they give her a paycheck. So how free is she? She talks about being like a strong, independent Black woman. How free are you, Joy, when you're talking? We know how she feels about this president. We know she just said how she feels, but she would never say that without being on a hot mic. She would never say that on her program, without being caught saying it under her breath. But this is the thing. She takes her marching orders to say what they tell her to say. And she's saying that crap every single day. She's spewing like exactly that. They tell her what to say. She says it. And so
God, I hope she's fined so hard for that.
What, because of the F word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want her to have the biggest fine. She apologized apparently like after a commercial break, but I couldn't find that.
For the F word.
Right.
Yeah. She apologized for the F word, but she should be apologizing for lying. That's what she should be.
That's all she does. That'd be a long ass apology.
Like, these people are all bought and paid for. That's why I looked at that and I saw that this morning and I was like, thank God we do what we do. Seriously, we may be nothing. We may not be very popular, but at least I'm not bought and paid for by anybody. And I say what I want to say, and I can go to bed at night knowing that I did that. And no one tells me what to say, because all those people are it's gross. It's just gross.
It is vile. Absolutely vile. The other day, I think it was yesterday, we played a really great clip from Joe Rogan, just talking, like, he got all wide-eyed and like, what's going on with the left? They're like crazy. They're way out here. There's another clip from that same show that he was doing where he was talking about how he used to be like a card-carrying liberal. And I thought this was just a nice add-on to the one that we played
out fellow Republicans
yesterday.
who oppose it.
I was 100% a left-leaning person who lived in Los Angeles. I was 100%. I never voted Republican my whole life. I was very left-leaning, especially with like any social issues. When it comes to financial things, I'm a little bit more conservative, but at the end of the day, I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. It's out of its fucking mind. And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes, the fucking not stopping people for stealing up to whatever money it is. What is it, $900 now? I think they raised it. I think they made it a little higher. San Francisco is non-existent. Most of San Francisco is emptied out of like big chain stores and big department stores.
I wouldn't even do stand-up there anymore.
It's crazy.
They ruined it.
They ruined the city.
Yeah,
I mean, you can bring it back. The structure's still there. But
Yeah,
you'd have to have some hardcore Rudy Giuliani type motherfucker to come in there and knock heads.
Wow.
And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. They're peace, love, and granola and fucking wear a mask.
And wear a mask. Yeah, because the Democrats have abandoned the old school liberals. I mean, they are complete communists now. I feel like, I look at my daughter, because my daughter's 13. She's going to be 14 this month. And I believe that the pendulum is starting to swing. I do.
Really?
I want to believe that. And I do believe that in my heart. I believe it. I know you're a little bit more pessimistic than I am, which is weird because when we started this 15 years ago, I was more of the pessimist. You're more the optimist. And I feel like we flip-flopped a little bit. And I think it's because I do have a younger kid still left to get out there and into the world. But I look at her friends and I see, she has a lot of friends who are a little bit more on the conservative, they love Jesus. They're like, these are good girls. And so I think, okay, there's hope here. And they look at some of the weirdness, like all the gender crap And she rolls her eyes, she's like, this is just stupid. It's so and maybe it's because they're being raised by, Gen Xers and some of the more based millennials, I guess you call them base, but I just look at that and I feel like it's gotten so crazy over the past 10 to 12 years that pendulum, it's like it's mid swing. We're in mid swing. I know if somebody says I'm in Texas, I know it's because I'm in Texas. Maybe that's why, but I just feel like some of those kids, and those kids are going to be the ones who are going to be the successful ones, right? I truly believe that, because it's not hard to be strong these days. It's not hard to grow up and be a strong, successful person, because you have so many wusses out there.
Oh,
you have so many, like, I'm a victim. Oh God, what am I going to do? I'm so weak. It's really, I tell my daughter, it's not hard to get out there and be a go-getter, because there's so many people who are in the fetal position. And so that's why I feel like the pendulum will swing. I hope that we're going to have some Gen Zers that will, take the country by the balls and make it what it used to be. I hope
you're right. Jay Carter, thank you. I'm going to put this on the screen because I don't know what you're saying here. Let me be clear. Doggy dog candid. I don't know what this means.
I don't know what that is. Somebody's going to have to, and I usually can translate in that one.
Yeah, you're usually pretty good at this, but that I don't understand it, but I appreciate the super sticker.
Thank you.
Laura Kate Baker, thank you. She says, Mock, the Biden administration lies so much that they cannot keep track. Yeah, I mean, they can't. It's true, because Janet Yellen's first like, we got to do more work to bring down prices. Wait, you think we're going to bring down prices? What are you, crazy? You guys know the prices aren't going anywhere.
You know what, though? Listen, some of that is the mushrooms, okay? That little troll.
Chinese mushrooms.
That little troll is doing so many mushrooms. We can't trust anything that she says. She's just high all the time, guys.
Teresa Raimundo, thank you. She says, is E. Jean Carroll's lawyer Hillary's sister? I can see why you would say that, because there are some similarities.
Very Hillary-esque. Mm-hmm.
Michelle Boyd, thank you. She says, 100% Daisy, we have to stand for America.
Right.
And Curio23, thank you. Curio says, New York State City needs to refund Trump's taxes as they overtaxed his property's values. That's an excellent point.
That is a great point.
Yeah,
very
that is
good
a really
point.
good point.
Yes.
For those folks who are holding out hope that maybe, just maybe, Trump would choose RFK Jr. as his VP running mate, apparently he did make that offer to RFK, but it's not happening.
I'd also asked him about something I'd heard President Trump had called him early on and asked him about being his VP. I asked if it were true. Take a look. If he asked you that today, what would your response be?
I would not take that job. I'm flattered that President Trump would offer it to me, but it's not something that I'm interested in.
Did he reach out, or his team?
People from the team have reached out to me.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
Pretty interesting. Do you have other clips with him? Because we didn't get to that in pre-show. Do you have any other clips from RFK? Because I saw something yesterday I thought was okay. Because there was something interesting I saw about him yesterday. He was lamenting the fact that that boomers don't like him, that the young people like him, but boomers don't. And I was like, And he goes, and I think that has to do with the fact that, that boomers watch a lot of the mainstream news and they don't watch alternative media, like our show and like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. He goes, if the young people could just drag their boomer parents and grandparents in to a room and force them to watch like the Joe Rogans, they would see that I'm, a valuable candidate. I'm paraphrasing.
It's probably true, because he gets long form time with those people.
He does. But I would object to that a little bit, because he mentioned that he has a lot of name recognition because he's a Kennedy, and He goes, and those boomers, he goes, I'm surprised they don't like me because they remember Camelot. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people who are boomers remember Camelot, and they know what a scumbag that the Kennedys are. Like my mom, she remembers the Kennedys, and it's like, do you remember like JFK and Bobby were both doing Maryland? I mean, I think that the whole Camelot thing, a lot of people in that age group, they look at the Kennedys and they're like, they weren't that great. That also was a propaganda thing where they pushed that narrative and they said, oh, it's Camelot. That family was gross, so also your family has basically disowned you. So what do you want? Do you want to be aligned with your family or do you not want to be are you Camelot or are you not? So he's going back and forth on that. I just thought that was a very interesting thing for him to say as, they should like me because I'm a Kennedy. Really? Maybe that's not the best thing for you to lean on, especially because there are a lot of people who are of that age who remember the bad things about it. And also nobody likes you in that family. So
yeah. Does he have anybody in the family that actually aligns with him? Like a single soul?
No, it's all of his brothers and sisters hate him. They all hate him. And so, exactly, John. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. Probably not a good strategy on his part.
Yeah. Speaking of strategy, Biden has a plan for his election. The New York Times reported that the Biden campaign is working on a Taylor strategy, which includes having him appear at Taylor Swift's Eras Tour this fall, just before the election, so that all the Swifties can lose their minds and decide, yes, we're going to vote for Joe Biden. That is the plan.
I'm just so sick of seeing Taylor Swift. I'm sick of all the NFL crap. It's like you look at Daily Mail and every other story is about Taylor Swift and he said, I love you on the I don't care. I know you love that crap. I just don't. I'm
totally here for that whole story.
I know you are because Monk's like, oh, it's new love. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't care.
I like the Kelseys so much. And so I like everybody being so happy with each other and the brothers love each other so much. And I love how much they love each other. I
think they're using it because now the franchise has experienced a $330 million bump in the brand because of the Taylor effect. And so they're loving it and they're eating it up because they're making money off of her.
Of course. Why wouldn't they love that?
Yeah. And they're using that relationship as a way to get more money because now all these girls are like, what's football? I mean,
I don't watch it.
What's a touchdown?
Well, if you already thought that was ridiculous, wait until you see this headline.
Oh my God.
Forget Kamala. Just put Taylor Swift on Joe Biden's ticket.
God. Democrats are so stupid.
This from an opinion column in the Baltimore Sun. This is what they're suggesting.
Yeah,
honestly,
do it.
It'd be the best thing Joe Biden could do to get reelected.
Just do it. Just do it. And then listen, she's a one issue voter. She's a one issue person. All she cares about is abortion. That's all she cares about. And that's all these young girls care about, right? I mean, that's the reason that she's going to say vote for Joe Biden is because you got to kill your babies. And that's it.
We talked yesterday about the fact that Ben Shapiro is topping the iTunes charts for his rap song with Tom McDonald. It still continues to do amazingly well. He keeps trolling all these other hip hop artists. It's glorious. And on his show yesterday, because we were talking about how the fact he needs a name, right? He needs a hip hop name.
Yep.
And he apparently has agreed with that. And now he's got several options and he was fully decked out in all of his hip hop garb. And I love this so much.
Oh my God.
Sup.
Oh my God.
That's right. All you folks have been sticking around for my hip hop talk because after all, I am America's #1 hip hop artist. Dr. Dreidel. Ben and M.
Dreidel.
Jupac. Ben with the Benjis. That's right. For shizzle. We're here to talk about the #1 song in America, according to iTunes. And that is fact. My boy, Tom McDonald. Now, I'll admit, my boy Tom did most of the heavy lifting on this song, but I was present. And indeed, I did rap. And I've contended before that if you can speak to a beat, you can rap. And this is a meritocracy right here. And so I present to you, without any further ado, the #1 song in America.
Right.
Facts. America. It's where anyone can do anything, baby.
It's true. It's true.
And that's a fact.
Okay, I mean, he does have a point. The trolling is off the charts. Jupac.
I love him.
Jupac is my new favorite rap name. Jupac.
Oh, I love Dr. Dreidel. That is my favorite.
Dr. Dreidel.
It's my favorite. That
Jupac.
is perfection.
God.
Oh my
Why
God,
didn't we think
it.
of this yesterday? Jupac. So fantastic. Okay.
Also,
so
before Double D's, I have two just funny little memes to show you that I thought you would like.
Okay.
The first one is this. Because obviously Joe Biden is so racist, but this is true. If
he
you
doesn't.
notice,
He's
have
never
you
sniffed a
ever
black
seen-
person.
That's my point.
Never sniffed a black person. You never seen him do that. He's racist, you guys.
He's racist, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then there has been footage obtained of the very, very, very first liberals.
That's a good one. It's a good one. God, I'm going back to the other one though. He never even sniffed like a clean and articulate black person.
Never. He's never sniffed a black person ever.
Ever. Like I'm thinking about if he ever did. Never. Wow. God,
I mean,
really
I just
racist. Really racist.
All right, now it's time for Double D's.
Okay, so my Double D. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but Snoop is now, he's not endorsing Trump, but he's like, yeah, Trump and I are like, he's cool. We're cool. We're totally cool. Remember a couple of years ago where Snoop made that video where he's like pretending to shoot Donald Trump. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was just weird and awful and disgusting. Yeah. Anyways, now it's all good. It's all good in the hood, apparently. Because Snoop is like, no, it's good because he let some guy go. He like pardoned some dude that he liked. And so now I don't even know his name, but he pardoned some guy and he's like, listen, it's all good. So listen, Democrats can have Taylor. We got Snoop. That's all I'm saying. We got Snoop. But speaking of Snoop, he's in this video with Jamie Foxx. If you guys know Jamie Foxx, the actor. And I saw this and I thought, this cannot be real because Jamie Foxx does a really good impression of Trump. It's extraordinary. It's really good. You guys got to see this.
Great people on both sides. Lots of great people on both sides. I know Harry, he's a great person. He couldn't vote for me at the time. Now he can vote for me once he gets out. I love Snoop Deal Double G. Great person.
So do you love Death Row Records?
I love
People on
Death
both
Row.
sides.
I love Death. Excuse me. Fake news. I love Death Row.
What's your favorite Death Row record, Mr. Trump?
All of them. All of the Death Row records. Don't try to pin me down. I see what he just. Excuse me.
Fake news.
Excuse me.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Look out for
They
you now.
tried to give me the virus. I beat the virus. I said they tried to. They tried to give me the virus. Like, who is they? Then that motherfucker said, "I beat the virus." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" He beat.
That's amazing.
He did it great. When I heard it, I was like, wait, am I hearing this right? He did a great job.
He did a great job.
I miss him living. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is pretty awesome. So
He's so
people are like, is he
talented.
okay? He seems okay.
He
Seems
seems
okay to me.
okay. Yeah, he seems
Yeah, he
okay.
seems okay.
Okay, well, that means it is time for some My Pillow Toks. And so now's a great time to remind everybody to please visit mypillow.com/chicks. Huge discounts on bedding, towels, mattresses, all the things, slippers, all the things. If you guys don't have the moccasins or the slippers yet that have all the the squeezy kitten fur technology in them
On the inside, yeah.
Why
I
would-
love them.
it doesn't matter that summer's almost here. You need these slippers in your life before summer. You need them. And so huge discounts. Just visit mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks to save piles and piles and piles of money. I've got some good talks for you today. The woman that owns Casper the dog, she wanted to write Casper a song and he's not impressed.
Casper, I wrote a song about you. Casper is.
He doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it.
He's not a fan. He's
He
not a
doesn't
fan
want
of the
a song.
song. Mm-mm.
Does not
Doesn't
want
like
that
it.
song.
No.
Also, there is the sweetest deaf and blind dog named Toot Toot who has a pink mohawk.
Oh my God.
And Toot Toot wants nothing more than to be held and snuggled. And I mean, the most precious animal. Look at this.
Okay, Toot Toot, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I can't enter you in a traditional dog show because you're deaf and a little bit blind and you have purple hair. But the good news is I found a dog show that is geared towards
Oh my
special and
God.
unique dogs. And you could maybe even win a cash prize. So I'm going to go ahead and enter you and see how you do. What do you think? So this is Toot Toot. She is an English setter. She was born
God.
deaf, pretty blind. She's pretty special needs. But she'll do this all day. She'll just come
Oh
interrupt
my
me when I'm
God.
working. She just needs this. Toot Toot, I can't drive the car. Climb over the seat and
God bless her.
and give me a hug. I just can't do it. It's not safe, responsible driving for me, Toot Toot. But you don't seem to care about safe, responsible driving.
Okay,
God
Toot Toot, this
bless
is
her
another
little-
one of those times where I'm late and you won't let me drive. I know we were just apart
Oh
for
my
7 days,
gosh.
but I gotta go. You gotta get in the passenger seat now.
Toot Toot is nervous because there's police cars and sirens.
I love her.
I know. I love her so much.
And she's being extra clingy. It's okay, Toot Toot. A TikTok dog. It's exhausting.
Oh my gosh.
So cuddly.
In life.
She doesn't want to leave.
She doesn't. She just needs to be snuggled
Toot Toot, I have good
constantly.
news.
Isn't that the sweetest?
It is very, very sweet.
Oh my God.
Her
So
little heart.
cute. There's a fellow on here who believes that all this fear that everybody has about us heading into a civil war, it's not going to happen because the people that would need to fight the civil war are very, very lazy.
It's true.
Serious.
I know America's pretty divided right now, but I really draw the line at when people are like, oh, it's so bad, we might end up having another civil war. It's like, another civil, like, really? Like, have you seen Americans? We are way too lazy to participate in a second civil war. We have an app that delivers McDonald's to our doorstep. That's not a nation
true.
that's really brimming with, like, start a second country energy. No, we're a country that will take our clothes out of the dryer and put them on a chair for several days. Like, you're going to tell me the South is going to rise again? I don't really think so. It's like, I know some of you are like, oh, well, January 6th, Matt, what about January 6th? It's like, yeah, but January 6th gave off more of like a Home Alone vibe than it did like a glory vibe. Like, I just think it's way too hard to organize things. Like, no one's 5 to 9 after their 9 to 5 is going to be war. Like Netflix literally has an autoplay function at the end of episodes because they know how tired we are after work. We don't even want to touch a TV remote. You're going to tell me people are going to be dressing for combat? I just think, look, no matter how bad things get in this country, even if there is a civil war, it's like, it's going to be very few participants. Like, most of us are just going to be on the couch, like texting, like, sorry, I can't be there. Like, tell me how it goes. I know.
That's so true. He's so right. He's exactly right.
Totally right.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this lady is she has a cat that has a problem staying in its lane, and I love this lady at the end, so make sure to listen to her at the end.
Okay. I just found out that I'm the same age my grandmother was when I was born. And I don't want to talk about it. Should I get lip fillers?
Oh my god.
Should I get lip
fillers? Yeah. It's just
I
random.
love that so much.
Just random stuff.
And normally cats don't make me laugh nearly as much as dogs, except for this cat. So there is something about cats' itsy bitsy teeny weeny little teeth and the itsy bitsy quiet sounds that they make. I have watched this 7 billion times and I cannot stop.
cat. I need one. I just need one.
Oh my God. I could seriously watch it all day and never tire of it. Never.
Cat.
Anyway, those are your talks for today.
Great talks. Let's see if Astrid's available. Hold on. You want to bring it in, and I'll see if let's bring it in first, and I'll see if Astrid's available. I'll see if we can get penciled in on Astrid's huge schedule while she lays her fat butt on the couch. Hold on one second.
Right? The little teeth. Harley cat. I know. It's those itsy, bitsy, teensy, weensy little teeth.
It's too late. It's too late. We go so late now that all the who's gonna come in here? Astrid, come here. Oh no, it's crazy.
Uh-oh.
It's crazy, Theo.
Oh.
Theo's here. He wanted to say hi. He flapped. Did you see him flap?
He did? I didn't see it.
Yeah, he flapped, you guys.
Okay, I'll have to rewind.
Okay. All right. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk to you tomorrow.